everyone, it's Inby, and I had the great pleasure of creating a template for Loopy Pro 2.0. What I had in mind when making it are two things. One is to use this opportunity to just show you some of my workflow and the things I like to do with Loopy Pro 1 point whatever. And the other is to try to help you as much as possible to get acquainted with the 2.0 features, namely MIDI, quantization, a new widget we've got, and the keyboard, all those things. So I hope this can be a nice starting point for you to explore this new world of possibilities. And I'll start the tour with the old possibilities, and then we'll slowly go into the new stuff. So let me just start with the most basic stuff. This is how I like to do it. For any loop or one shot that I have, I like to have a dedicated volume slider. And it goes actually as high as it can, so above 0, and as low as it can. And what I do is program it so that when I double tap, it goes back to 0. I do this with any slider. So here I have a slider that controls the volume of all the clips, right? And when I double click, it will go back to 0. Same with metronome volume. This is something that's really important for me while I'm playing. For the first loops, I might need this really loud. Then I might need it quiet, or I don't want it. Just take it all the way down. Next song, boom. With these sliders, so I made sliders that control the pitch and the rate of these one shots. And this time, instead of double tap, I said, when you release, go back to 0, right? So I can change the pitch, release, goes back to 0, change the rate, release, go back to 0. I also really like to have a dedicated solo button for every loop. And then I'll sometimes have widgets that play a certain section. I wanted to incorporate this here, even just as a concept that you can then use if you're doing like verse, bridge, chorus, or you want like scenes, kind of like Ableton. This is how I would do it. Just make a widget. You can see under target, specific clips. I chose them. I made sure to not record if empty. And then under that, I said stop, right? So not toggle, but stop all the other loops. Then I always like to have a play all button, and it's not playing all because I don't want it to play the one shots. So it's playing all the loops. So I just handpick all the loops. Oh, see, I missed one. Handpick and done. And again, I don't want it to record any empty loops. So I'll turn this off always. For any input that I have, I make a widget so I can access it from my main page, and I'll have a mute, unmute. Now you can hear me. And I'll have a gain button. And again, this will, when I double tap, go back, and it can go really high. I'll also have an overdub widget set to next tapped clip. So it will ask me which clip. And once I press on a clip, it will start recording. I also will always have a clear all magic button. And I usually have to manually choose all the clips because I'll often work with some one shots that I imported. So in this case, I gifted you with a water bottle sound and a whistle played by me. Thank you very much. And I don't want them cleared when you press this. So this is manually set to when I press to clear, and the target are handpicked. Those are like the basic things I'll always have. It's very useful for me, for my workflow. I don't want to go into the mixer when I play live. So I have everything on my main page. Here's another thing that's also not a 2.0 special thing, maybe my favorite thing to play around with. So I wanted to include it here. What I have going on are 4 one-shots that are listening to my mic. So if I press record, it will record whatever I do. Let me do something more interesting. And it's set to threshold recording. This is usually actually automatically set. Let me just show you. Recording settings, threshold recording is automatically set on. It's great. So it's waiting for me to make a sound. Oh. Oh. What? Let me change that. La, la, oh. What? La, 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 oh. What? La, la, la. So I have these fun widgets changing the pitch and the rate. It can go backwards as well. And I can slide up, right, or use my pencil to edit the audio part. And then this is nice. We can now, by pressing this pencil, have this window, and by pressing here on the left, have this beautiful window to work with, and I can tell it to end here. I can tell it to start here. I just love playing with one-shots, and then now I want to use them as kind of drum pads, right? And so what I have here are 2 loops that are not listening to my microphone, and I'll go into the mixer soon and show you what that means, but I can make as many loud noises as I want. It's not listening. What it is listening to are pink or magenta loops, right? So as soon as I play, oh, you'll see that it's recording. Oh, la, what? Oh, la, what? Oh, la, what? Oh, la. One last thing before I take you to the mixer and we start talking about some fancy MIDI stuff is that I made these 2 loops quantized, and this is a new feature. So let me just talk about it a little bit. I'm not sure that I'll be using this feature, but I think it's important. So under playback settings, you will find beat quantization, right? So automatically it's set to no quantizing, but I can have it do a basic quantization of 1/8, 16th, or 30 seconds, or triplets. You can control the swing, the intensity, even the randomness. All right, so now we're going to go into the mixer to talk about some pretty groundbreaking new additions, and things are looking a little different. So I'll just walk you through it. Okay, so our mixer is now organized into a MIDI section, MIDI colors, plugins, which are AUV3 instruments, inputs, and colors, and your main output. And look, if I click here, it kind of minimizes sections. So pretty cool, pretty cool. First of all, I have this microphone. Under the destinations, you can see all the colors that are listening to that microphone. And these 2 colors are not. I don't want them listening to the microphone. I don't want to record microphone information onto them. So it's that simple. Loopy Pro is now also showing us under each color, what is it listening to? So under each input, who is it talking to? And under each color, who is it listening to, right? So you can see that a lot of my colors are listening to the mic, but these 2 are not. And then if I wanted, let's say, other colors to listen to pink, I would press here and choose pink. So before I go further, I think you should get this plugin. It is free and beautiful, okay? And BLEASS is just a company you should know about. They make amazing things, and this is free. It has awesome sounds. I use it all the time. So go look this up and download it, and then this template will be exactly as it is for me. And then you can really see all the things that I'm doing here. Go to this plus sign, go to audio unit instrument, find it here, bring it in. Under destinations, you'll want to tell it which colors you want it to talk to. In this case, it's dark blue. And which source you want for it. Source is, how am I going to play this, right? So keyboard means this brand new keyboard that Loopy Pro now has. And maybe I want another MIDI keyboard. Right now, I don't have one plugged in. If I did, it would show up here. I would choose it. Let's just do musical typing. It would also show up here. But right now, I'm just using built-in stuff. So MIDI. First of all, I need a source that will play MIDI, right? So again, either the built-in keyboard inside of Loopy Pro or a MIDI keyboard. Either way, you got to add MIDI and then choose whatever options show up here. In this case, I chose keyboard. Under destinations, I'm going to add this plus sign. I can choose the instrument that I have or an audio clip that I have. So if I press play audio clip, it will let me choose any audio clip I have on here, right? Let me choose this one shot, right? It will show up here. And remember I recorded that sound? I can now play it as a keyboard. Pretty cool. Now, if you have never used like a built-in keyboard, let me just walk you through it. This will close down. Let me open it again. This will now allow us to move the keyboard around if I press on this finger icon. And when I press it again, I can choose. So before it was on the bottom, let's see, it can be on the right, on the left, doesn't seem very useful, or on the bottom like before. And I can also press here to make it super big. Okay, and now on the right, the unlock will allow me to go up a bunch of octaves or down. And if I want to lock it so that when I play, it's not sliding around, just lock it. And again, the finger will allow me to move it around. But we don't need that because I already have 3. And let me explain why I have 3. The problem I'll run into if one keyboard is mapped to all of my sources is that as long as that source is unmuted, it's going to play. And I don't want all 3 sources playing at the same time. So what I did is map each keyboard. Let's delete this one. I've got keyboard A with a destination of orange, meaning only orange is listening to that MIDI information of the keyboard. And the destination is the whistle clip. I made a widget. When I press, open MIDI keyboard, it's under MIDI source actions, and I chose which keyboard. And let me unmute it and open the keyboard. Now, even if these sources are unmuted, it's only playing the whistle. So I like that. I like that clean sound. If I mute the destination, this isn't going to do anything, right? I need my source unmuted, which is why I would run into issues if I only had one keyboard. Because if I wanted it to play, I need this source unmuted. But if my keyboard is playing anything that's unmuted, I now can't just get the bottle sound or one of these sounds. So that's why I just made 3 different keyboards. And the cool thing I found out is you can have all 3 of them at the same time. I actually didn't test how many keyboards you can have at the same time, but 3 is pretty cool. And so let's go higher. It's just fun. And I don't have to play MIDI notes. I can write them in. I can change things around after I recorded them. And you either swipe up or use the pencil tool to click on it. Either way, you will find this pencil thingy. And now we have this beautiful new addition. And I can make it bigger, smaller. I can have it float around, right? Make it whatever size I want. Bring it back down, whatever. And pencil is how I would draw in notes. And if I'm with the select tool, this is how I can select a bunch of notes. And then this is what allows me to kind of move around without any action happening unwillingly. This is where I can quantize my MIDI notes, play, and I can now make the loop longer by doing this, or shorter. In case you don't know what these are, so let me show you. First option is doubling what I have. So I had a measure with 4 notes. It made it be 2 measures with 4 notes each. Here we go. Better window. So this will add silence. So if I have 4 measures right now and I press here, I will get an extra 4 measures that will be empty. If I press the first option, I will get another 4 measures of the exact same information. So let me press here and let me try to zoom out. I got 4 more measures. Let me close this so you can see my loop got longer. If I press here, it will delete half. So in this case, it's kind of undoing what we did. If I do it again, yeah, great feature. Let me just record it again. Let me swipe up. You can see it running here. I don't know, maybe I don't like the second note. If I click on it, it will disappear. I can always undo. Maybe I want this note to be longer. Velocity. Okay. All right. We got our first MIDI loop. Now we can have some fun. So what I did here, first of all, if I mute the input, this means nothing. You will not hear it. So it has to be unmuted. And what I did here is called a button grid. So it's this. This would be kind of the same, just a different sort of shape or workflow. It's a button grid. And so when I press, I went into, let me just scroll down. Audio source actions, select an audio unit preset, right? And then select preset, and I chose a preset, right? And I did that 4 times, and I even wrote them out for you, so you have an easy time. And now, while it's playing, you get it. Now, if I swipe up here, it will open up this interface. I always like to do that with instruments. Swipe up, open the interface. So I can also do it here. Yeah. Now, it works pretty much the same with using an audio clip as your destination, right? I would just open this keyboard up. Let's record it. That's MIDI. Give it the time it takes to wrap your mind around it, especially if you've gotten used to Loopy Pro. This is like a whole new thing. In our main page, we now have audio loops and MIDI loops, audio one-shots and MIDI one-shots. So you can just get a MIDI loop and you can choose the color, all right? And whatever color it is will show up on here, right? So if I change this to, I don't know, let's do amber. It will now show up here. So I think the last thing that's left is this new feature. It's this really fun widget that shows up over here, Rotary Encoder. And in this instance, I had it change the pitch of this loop. And let me just demonstrate. So these rotary dials or encoders can change a bunch of things. I just went into a clip action and I wanted the target to be this. And I wanted the parameter to be the pitch. And let's just make it extreme this time. Fine, no problem. Now, you have a control speed as well. Just play around with it and see. I mean, this makes it so it changes really, really slow. So with pitch, it just goes like barely changing as you spin, or like crazy, like you just move it a little and it changes a lot. I'll just keep it on 1. And always have a zeroing thing, so you're not stuck with like some weird, like you could accidentally change the pitch of this and be stuck with some weird pitch. So when you release, choose the target, choose the action and the same parameter and have it be at 0. So let's try it out now. Clear all. And I think we are done. Thank you so much. Feel free to comment with your questions. I'll try to answer. I hope this template is a nice starting place for you. Again, just enjoy it. Enjoy all this magic that Michael has provided us with. It's just the most incredible playground, musical playground. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day.